honestly, I've really been struggling to create any sort of content for this YouTube channel. I feel like I have some limitation regardless of the type of content I'm creating. Whether it's a reflection piece, I feel like my reflection isn't deep enough or just not interesting. If it's an educational piece, I feel like I'm unqualified to be teaching what I'm teaching. And then if it's something lifestyle based, I feel like I'm just too boring. So I've come up with a bunch of different ideas and I never really want to create the content because of something going on that means that I don't feel comfortable creating the content. And I don't know if you can tell, I can tell when I watch my videos back that I'm not very comfortable when I'm creating it or filming it, even though I've filmed quite a lot of videos, not just on this channel, but other YouTube channels I've used um, for my marketing business. So I feel like I can talk to the camera a lot better than I did several years ago, but I still don't feel like I'm super comfortable doing it. Um, and I came across a YouTube person, a YouTuber yesterday, and she was someone called Mickey, and she created content in this style, and it felt very simple and easy for me to set up because I've had issues with OBS when I'm trying to record my screen. I've had issues with Loom when I'm trying to record my screen. OBS freezes, Loom just breaks. And I was like, okay, I've got Photo Booth as well, and I can just put my notes here so you can see. And this is the kind of thing that she did, and I had all these ideas of how to create content to grow my recruitment business and different stories around that. And I didn't want to create any of them, so I thought I'd just create an 8 week review to get back into creating content. And it's not going to be super exciting because I don't have £1 million to show in the last 8 weeks. But yeah, this is my 8 week review of the business that I started 8 weeks ago. So yeah, full credit to Mickey for this style of content creation, and um, yeah, even now it just feels a bit easier to make. It feels like I've not tried to spend ages trying to set up OBS and not knowing what I'm doing. So yeah, let's get into it. The year so far. So it's August right now, 13th of August, and this year it's really been pretty terrible for me in terms of my business performance. I feel like I've quit a lot, which you'll see here as we get into addiction to quitting. Um, so yeah, let's start. So January, I had an offer which helped athletes starting a business, and this would be a course. That's a course that I came out with. And why did I start that, or why did I create that course? Well, at the end of last year, around this time last year, actually, I made that transition into helping athletes start a business as a coach. And I had a couple of one-to-one clients. And just to give you a bit of context, over the last 4 years, I've been running an online business, an online SEO agency. So that was until I'd say around March 2024 that I was running that. So yeah, about 3 years I was running it like full on, and then took a big back step from it around spring summer 2024. Over that time, I made around quarter of a million through the business, and it meant that I could really have a good life with my own goals of being a professional athlete. So I'm currently in Germany. I play American football in Germany, and I don't make a lot of money playing professionally here, but at least I get paid to play football. It's really cool. Um, but then I'm only employed for 6 months of the year, right? So half of it I need to find a way of making money, and half of it I'm employed as an athlete. Um, so that's why I started the business, and yeah, it was reasonably successful over that time period. But I didn't really enjoy it much, and it really got to the point where I was really, really struggling with it, and I don't know if I was fully burnt out or what it was. But I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I kept it running. I had my team. We were a team of four, and yeah, kept it running, and got to the point where just now I've just got one client that I work with. So it's just like I'm quite focused on that client, which is quite nice, and I can give it all of my attention in terms of that area of the business. But yeah, I stopped enjoying it, so I stopped focusing on it. So that's where it's at now. So I thought this is the direction I wanted to go in. Athletes starting a business and creating a course around that. I had already quit trying to be a coach at this point by starting a course because I thought, okay, well, digital products is going to be easier to sell than coaching. It wasn't. It wasn't, and I was really tired of trying to rely on content to make sales because I couldn't function really. I feel like I wasn't being myself at all because I was always panicked. Like, okay, this reel has to be the reel that gets me sales, and it was like a horrible position to be in. Um, so February I kept pushing that, um, continued with that, and then March I was like, okay, well, I'm really kind of getting tired of this. So then I think this is my first quit point here. April, I didn't know what to do. May, and I started looking into. Oh, sorry, this is not right. This is not right at all. So then February, I still continue this, but I'm like, well, I need to find a way of making money on the side of this coaching business because if I'm just reliant on the coaching business to make money, I'm gonna hate the kind of content that I do create. So I started trying to offer web design. I started trying to offer um, voice agents as well, AI voice agents. But I never really committed to this, and I really was just deep in my addiction to quitting right here. And I hadn't, yeah, I knew every time I quit, like I was like, it would hurt me. Like I'd be like, oh man, I wish I didn't do that. And I found it embarrassing, kind of telling other people, okay, I'm focusing on this now and whatever it is. Um, so so yeah, it was a painful period of just trying to try something and then realizing, okay, this isn't the right approach for me. Um, I knew I'd hate creating AI voice agents because of like all of the tech things, and web design. This was honestly difficult to sell um, outbound, and I wanted something quicker. And this is always my issue. If I want something quicker, then I quit before it actually works, and yeah, it's been a problem. So um, yeah, and it's been a thing as well with my SEO agency. As I said, I've been able to make it decently successful and profitable. But even during that, I would try like working with a different niche, and I think that's where it actually started. And then it would be like service switching, and then outreach method or acquisition method switching, and yeah, so it ran kind of deep. But yeah, in June, so started to form plans, and then June is when I decided, okay, let's go recruitment. Um, and I decided to go with that because I had helped someone in February at this point here, um, who was looking to hire overseas, and I'd done it quite a lot with my SEO agency, and I knew what to do, and I knew how to do it. I knew how to filter and test and get through all of the bad applicants. So I was like, okay, I can help you, and I got paid about £400 for it. And it was fine. I was able to deliver it really quite quickly and get the project done. And I found it quite enjoyable. I enjoy running the interviews and speaking with the applicants and learning about them and that kind of thing. It's something I did find pretty fun. So um, yeah, it was kind of in the back of my mind for I guess this month of May. Not really sure if I wanted to go that approach because I was really worried about quitting again because I knew I had this addiction to quitting. Um, but yeah, then yeah, in June I was like, okay, let's go. I didn't really know what else I could do, so yeah, that's why I decided to do that. Um, so yeah, that covers addiction to quitting and my year so far. It's been a really difficult one. I would say I think it's been difficult in the sense of being comfortable with the change in business, because I think I drew a lot of my self-worth from the success of my business, and I was very comfortable with feeling good. Okay, like I and I never, I always felt like I was trying to get it bigger and bigger and bigger. So I don't think I got like super comfortable where I just took my foot off the gas completely. But I think I did get to the point where I was used to, well, yeah, if you're used to a business doing well, doing six figures a year, and then it goes down to very little, then yeah, I think that's why it's been really hard for me, because I feel like, okay, I've done this once, I feel like I should be able to do it really quickly now. And that's why I think it's been tough for me to work on these things and not see success quickly, because I feel like, well, what are the last 3 years for if I can't just build something really, really quickly and get it successful really quickly, you know? Um, so yeah, those that's where my thoughts have been with that, and I think that's why it's been pretty difficult. Um, Anything else? And yeah, with this athlete starting the new business thing, I decided to move away from that, because I think where most of my value lies is people that have seen a bit of success already. Maybe they're making 1 to 5K a month with the business and really want to get the next steps, or maybe they've just seen their first little bit of success and they're really looking to get get it going. Um, but I think I'm not so good at the complete zero, because I think there's so much that you have to go through from zero to the first client, and I think I'm not so good at that part. Being just completely honest, but if you got to that first bit, I feel like when that person has that self belief that they've already seen that little bit of success, I feel like I can really multiply that for someone. Um, but yeah, I think that complete 0 to 1 is like way bigger than 1 to 2, like almost infinitely bigger. And I think that's where my expertise does lie, and I really enjoy it. And that coaching, that 1 to 1 coaching, I is something I looked forward to when it was on my calendar, and I'd have calls coming up and things like that. So it's something that I did like, but also had a lot of stress around it. And didn't feel like super comfortable with it because of my fear of, well, it's been so long since I started something from scratch. Is what I know still applicable right now? And the broad fundamentals, of course, they're always going to apply. But I think sometimes the smaller techniques and tactics, they might not. So I think a lot of doing this as well was the fact that the web design and the AI voice agent, starting something from scratch, was also to show that I can build something from scratch, and give myself that comfort knowing I can definitely help someone. Because I think I was a bit worried that I was too far removed, and that led to a lot of insecurity in the service I was delivering or the coaching I was delivering. Um, so, so yeah, why recruitment now over other things? Well, I like the fact it's finite. I like the the service is quite operation heavy, and I feel like that's where I do have actual strengths in the services that I do deliver. Um, I like speaking with the candidates. I do quite like that part. I hope I continue to like that part. I might not in the future. Um, and yeah, this finite thing. Let me dive into that, because a huge amount of stress. Um, from infinite. So yeah, SEO for me felt infinite, and I felt like I always had recurring clients weighing over me, and I could never really breathe. Like that's kind of how I felt, um, and I didn't like that. There's obviously huge benefit to having recurring clients. They stick with you. You don't need to go and make sales every single month, new sales, new sales, new sales, like doing web design or something. Um, but I yeah, I like finite projects now, and and then I can try and get referrals from those clients, and maybe they would work with me again, and all of this. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to build up in terms of like lots of different finite projects, rather than something that's just weighing over me, because it feels like, yeah, pretty horrible, and I don't like infinite. Um, what else for recruitment? It's high ticket, obviously. It's nice that a client will be worth somewhere in the region of £3,000 to £8,000 for me. So that's going to be good, or maybe 2K on the lower end actually, 8K on the high end. So yeah, it's good. When I speak to athletes looking to start a business, I'd always recommend something that's high ticket, because it means that you can change your life quite quickly after getting that first yes, and the second yes, and then the third, rather than an athlete trying to start a drop shipping business, for example. Because yeah, I get other people. I'm on a football team. They ask me, okay, oh, how do you do your business? Or there's someone that's doing something, or they've tried to do something. That is a thing that they run into. They might have made like 5 sales, but then it's still just £100 profit for that month, and you're not really gonna do much with that. So yeah, that's why I like high ticket. In terms of goals for the business, um, I kind of had an idea in my mind of a 5 million valuation. I don't know how I'm going to feel as things progress, and I'm okay with that. But if I continue as it goes through its different stages of business, of from being just me to being me and some others to being me and then managers and that kind of thing. If I continue to enjoy it, I think this would be a good way to a good goal to actually aim for. But if I don't enjoy it and I don't want to grow it to the 5 million valuation, and I'm happy with it just being kind of a lifestyle business for me, then that's also fine. Um, the first goal is obviously the first milestone is the first client. But I did have in my mind, if I do continue to enjoy it, then I would like it to be at the point where it could be a £5 million valuation, and then I can either make a look to make a sale, or then just keep it as it is, and keep it running. But I thought that would be a good North Star to run towards if I want to get it to that point. Um, in terms of the lifestyle business aspect, it's just, yeah, just a quite a simple. I'd like it to be making 6K per month in profit. That would be really good for me, and that's where I'd like it to get to. So yeah, those are some goals. And I thought it would help if I just show you a bit about how I'm managing my tasks at the moment, um, because it's been different to how I've approached managing business tasks in the past. And I've actually quite liked it this way. And I think it's something that I'll do quite a lot. So this is Notion, and I've got a list of projects, or a database of projects, and I've separated them out by in progress, not started, and done, and they're grouped by week. So this is how I'm managing it. I'm not going to read you every single task, but you can see that I would batch about 3 weeks at a time. I think, yeah. So you'd see plan weeks 4 to 6 in this task list, and then it meant that I always knew what needs to be done. So I started off just by doing 10 personalized outreach. Um, then I worked out how to do a bit more. So then I was doing 30 personalized outreach in a week, um, around 30, 27 there, because I think this was just in July where I wanted to hit my like July goal was 100 personalized outreach in total. Um, then yeah, I was launching LinkedIn campaigns, email campaigns, recording my VSL. So yeah, all of these different things. But it was quite nice that it was on a weekly basis, because honestly, with my football career, my energy levels can vary so much, and sometimes it means that working on a weekend makes way more sense for me than um, having a full working day the day after practice, if the practice was particularly strenuous, I really felt like um, that can affect me quite a lot. So enables me to spread these out on the weekly basis. And yeah, now we're in week 8, um, where I needed to launch 400 new cold email prospects, managed to launch 492, and then I've got another couple of things to do this week. Week 7, I didn't actually manage to create my lead magnet or finish my lead magnet, so you can see why that's still in progress there. So yeah, this is a really quite a nice way of how I'm managing everything right now, and it works really well for me. Um, so yeah, I thought that would help to give a bit of insight. Um, and how I'm looking to acquire clients right now, I've not got any clients yet over the last 8 weeks. Um, but we can go into the data behind it. And I think this is really important for me because when I quit stuff, it's because it's usually an emotional response, not a rational one. But the best way to be rational, I found, is having data to back up what you're doing or data to track what you're doing. So I've been using LinkedIn and also cold email. And you can see here the number of contacts I've uploaded, the number of messages that have been sent. If you've not done outbound sales before, just to give you an idea, using cold email, you can contact all of the people that you upload, but using LinkedIn, you cannot. You need to wait for a connection with that person. You have to be connected, and then you have to send them. Then you can send them a message. So I've got 2 different automation tools, one called Walaxy and one called Instantly. Walaxy automates LinkedIn, Instantly automates cold email. Um, and yeah, I've just got a load of different um, segments. So people that are hiring for sales, people hiring for account manager, people that are hiring for SEO. I want to pitch them a link prospector. This one is just direct one-to-one outreach using InMail or emails, hiring for sales, etc., etc. So yeah, this is how I'm breaking everything down, and then I can see which ones are performing well by my metric of contacts per positive response. And you can see that some of these LinkedIn campaigns do perform really well, like with 9% contacts or 10 contacts per positive response. This one didn't perform so well, but then you can see these ones here, they haven't even received a positive response. So I've received quite a lot of positive responses in total. You can see down here 31. Um, and that's turned into 5 calls, but none of them actually went ahead due to different rescheduling reasons, or some people, I think one person just completely ghosted me. Um, so so yeah, there are issues here. I need to be having people on the call in order to turn them into my client, and then if they're my client, then I can um, find them someone to work at their company, and if I can find someone to work at their company, I can then make money from the placement fee that I charge. Uh, but yeah, we haven't had any people that I've actually been able to speak to yet. These are just, yeah, 5 calls booked. So that's where we're at in terms of data. That's 4,008 contacts and 2,987 messages sent. So yeah, not super high volume, really. And then just to go into the costs of everything, LinkedIn costs are Sales Navigator. I've paid for it for 2 months. That's a total of 194 US dollars. With cold email, there's a bit more that you've got to pay for. That's the automation tool. I've had this automation tool for LinkedIn for several years, and I paid for a lifetime deal for it, so I don't need to continue to pay for that. So I'm quite fortunate there. But I do have these other costs related to those things. So yeah, I've spent £463 total on this, and you can see the total costs for the platforms. So 28 positive replies on LinkedIn, 3 on email, 4 meetings booked from LinkedIn, 1 from email. Positive reply cost is £5, 11 from LinkedIn, £106 on email, and meeting cost is £35 and 320 on email. As I get more data about shows and people that turn into clients, and then the amount of money I make from those clients, then I can get a clear idea on the return on investment from these. But I don't have any data beyond meeting booked. So there's nothing for me to report on there. But it does show to me that this is about nine times more expensive to run cold email than LinkedIn in terms of the results that you get. So I'm actually in a position now where I can't afford to just keep spending £320 on a meeting. It makes no sense. Um, so it's annoying because cold email is really high. It's really highly scalable when you get something working, because you can just add more accounts and then you can do way more volume, and then it will just be consistently generating you meetings. But because of the fact that I don't have any clients yet, I've got no I've got no way of sustainably affording to spend £320 on a meeting. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to cancel my my this these software subscriptions that I'm paying for, which is frustrating because then I would need to buy these domains all over again, for example. But I think it's just part of it. I have to stop when it makes sense to stop. So so yeah, if I had more clients, let's say on the SEO agency side that could fund this, then I would probably just keep going with cold email. But at the point now, because I just got one client, um, I can't I can't keep doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this spend and then spend more on LinkedIn. And I'm going to do that by trying to buy some LinkedIn accounts and then use Navigator with those accounts. So that'll be an extra $97 per account per month, on that. And then, yeah, just scale what I can see is working, cheaper at £35 per meeting booked or £5 per positive response. So yeah, there are a lot of problems that I need to fix here, with the fact that I'm getting a decent amount of positive replies, but the call booked rate is very low. And then also, of course, the fact that I've not actually spoken to anyone from the calls that have been booked. So yeah, two issues to solve, in the coming weeks. But yeah, that's where we're at in terms of data and money spent. So I also want content to be a big part of this business, um, and this channel as well. So yeah, I touched on it obviously at the start of this video, but basically I I'm at a weird position, I guess, with my content, and I know I've been wanting to create it for, I think, the first 4 weeks of this 8 week period. So yeah, ever since I started this, but I only posted my first video to YouTube, last week, I believe it was, or maybe even this week. So so yeah, I'm not creating the content at the rate that I'd like to create it at. Um, but I'm hoping just by creating things like this, like a review, and I think I'm going to do a wrap up at the end of each month, and um, create some more lifestyle things because like through my off season I'm going to be traveling. I'd love to film that as well. Um, and then yeah, also sharing some insights into like how I'm filling these roles, and how I'm finding the right kinds of people, and everything like that as well. So those are different things that I want to want to create around the content. But yeah, it feels like it's like a lot of friction right now for me, um, with this. But yeah, I've just got a goal of creating one video a week, which is totally manageable in terms of the time I have available. Because as you'll see, a lot of my work is, automated because I put it into automation platforms. So yeah, it's totally doable in terms of the time I have available. It's kind of just, the issues I had that I mentioned around creating content. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. And then future plans. So I obviously mentioned that I need to cut out cold email, which yeah, it pains me because I know how great it can be because I've had a lot of success with cold email in the past, and I know how much it can. I know what it's like when it works well. I've seen what it's like when it works well, and I know how easy it is to scale as well. So it does pain me, but it just doesn't make sense for me to keep going like this, with the current situation in the business. So I want to add more volume to my LinkedIn because that's what's currently working for me. I want to focus on that. I want to create content and not put too much pressure on myself and try and just create content that I find that I resonate with a bit more. And I feel less, or maybe just worry less about being too boring. I don't know. uh, and I think I had another thing that I wanted. Maybe not. Maybe not. So yeah, that's the 8 week review from this recruitment business. I'm going to be wrapping up August at the end of this month. Um, so I think there'll be a bit of an update between now and then. I know there's only 2 weeks left of this month. Um, but yeah, in terms of like future content, I want to do like a monthly wrap up of how things are going. And yeah, as I said, just document some other things, the travel I'm doing and how everything's going in the business. And yeah, stay on top with those kind of things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, then I guess that's also okay. But let's take a thumbnail